Greetings everyone, this is Alt Lexington on Thursday the 19th of July 2018 about 3 PM, and here I am with not my main engineer character but a Federation tactical character, and I'm about to play the latest episode that the game has to offer at this date, and I can pronounce its name this time. It's called Home. This is part 7 of my Gamma Quadrant playthrough videos. And if you remember, in the last episode we were using spacesuits, but in this episode you're not. So remember to change back to your armor. Although I'm taking a bit of a risk using Lex throwing knives. If they don't work out, I will switch them out for a weapon, for a proper weapon. So let's queue up the episode. It's a featured episode still, where we go to Odo's homeworld, the new changeling homeworld. Let's hail and find out.
Empersa, the homeworld of the Founders, is under attack by the Herc. This is our darkest hour. If Empersa falls, the Dominion will come to an end. I'm asking you to join in the defense efforts as soon as you can. A task force will assemble at my fleet's location in the Gamma Quadrant and warp to Empersa from there. Remember, if we fall, the Alpha Quadrant is next. It's time to make a stand. I hope you'll join in the fight.
Now, why does he say if the Dominion falls, the Alpha Quadrant is next? We don't know that. And neither does he. He's just trying to get us to help him, even though he knows we probably won't want to. You get your featured weekly episode reward from this episode. Obviously it's a universal tech or a specialization point. Well, I will get the specialization point. And also you get your weekly weapons, and since this is not most of them are available at the moment because it's been a while since this episode came out, but I'm going to go for, whoa, I could go for the console or the weapon. I think I'm going to go for the console. All along I've been going for the weapon, but that's because the console wasn't available. But this time I'm going for the console. It's the first time I've played this episode on this particular character, but not on other characters. So, accept.
If you'll excuse me.
Why? I thought we were coming to visit you. And you're running off? Bad form, Odo. So meet Odo's fleet in the Gamma Quadrant, which is right here, where we happen to be. Just a little bit further in than where we met Garrick's fleet. And I do know from previous playthroughs of this episode, it's quite a ground battle intensive episode, and it's a pretty damn good one too. Good battles in this for if you're into ground. Anyway, let's begin.
Previously on
a recap. I like this.
The Dominion, as you know it, is on the verge of collapse. Without your help, the Herc will win the war of attrition. What's happening?
Yes, Garrick, I found your mysterious widget. What is it exactly? It's not Karema's tech.
I found a similar device on Bejor.
These devices call the Herc, and we put them there. The other Founders are hiding things from me.
I like the way Kira slaps him.
Hold your fire. I think it's trying to communicate.
Hopped up on Ketra so white.
We can't hold off the Herc forever.
Alliance forces are spread too thin to help, Quark.
We need the Klingons, brother. Otherwise, we're doomed.
The Sword of Kahless, as promised.
Once again, the House of Quark delivers. Martok will be pleased.
Grilka.
You found a secret I've kept for millennia.
The origin of the Herc infestation.
And you're rolling it.
The Dominion must endure.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. As we speak, every Herc in the Quadrant is homing in on the signal.
And now the conclusion.
Where we clean
I
up
arrived
Garrick's
here
mess.
ahead of you, and I've already engaged the Herc near the planet. You've made your point, Garrick. Deactivate the Herc lure device you placed on the homeworld before this gets out of hand.
It's too late.
I'm afraid that's the problem, Ambassador. I deactivated it several minutes ago.
Well, give him chance.
Then why are the Hercs still attacking? Don't play games with me here, Garrick. I'm warning you.
Perhaps they're still attacking due to a deep hatred of your people. After all, the Founders are directly responsible for their state of mind, body, and soul. I can't say I blame them for...
Perhaps they didn't know where the homeworld is until Garrick showed them.
Enough! Both of you. We don't have time for this. There's bigger problems to deal with here, starting with that swarm of Herc vessels nearby.
Yet perhaps the Herc didn't know where the new homeworld of the Founders was until Garrick showed them, and now that they know where it is, they're not willing to break off their attack, even though the device has been switched off. The captain makes a good point.
Agreed. My fleet is already engaged near the planet, but Herc reinforcements keep arriving. Try to punch through the swarms so we can join up.
Yeah, save you, hey, in other words. Very well.
We may be needing your solution to this problem soon, Doctor.
Yes, since yours failed in a spectacular fashion.
Has it? Some might argue it succeeded beyond expectation.
We don't want them getting too many behind us. We don't want too many of the enemy ships getting a flank on us. Gotta save Odo's ship. Some of these you can't target. Let's not rush in. We don't want the game to give us the bum's rush. Make it more exciting than it is.
My ship won't last much longer. We need to deal with the swarm attacking it immediately.
Here comes Nog!
Stands ready to assist you as well.
And Nefpar. My targets keep changing. Bit of rock and roll just in case. How does it break my target lock like that? Whoa, whoa, I only just survived there. And now we've got to answer Odo's hail.
Well done. The ship's taken heavy damage, but she'll survive.
Well, we've bought ourselves some time. Let's hope it's enough. Julian, is your plan ready? It may be our best hope to end things now.
It's as ready as possible, Captain. The challenge of frontier medicine, I'm afraid, is that there is never enough time. I've created a program that will enable the Herc to synthesize the compound they need to come to their senses. I've also put together a core sample of the compound for them to utilize in mass production. That is the easy part.
And the hard part? What do you need to make this happen?
From what we've learned about the Herc, the best way to make this happen will be to enter the data into one of their core computer systems. It'll need to be a command-level system with fleet-wide override authority. Systems of that caliber are only found on Herc dreadnoughts.
Hopefully this is buying me time to heal.
There's a Herc dreadnought heading toward the planet as we speak. It's slow, so we should be able to intercept it. I recommend we engage that ship and disable it, if possible. We'll need to get a team on board to carry out Julian's plan.
Agreed, let's make it happen. There's the big ship. Throwing everything I've got at it, just in case. I don't think my anti-time worked. What was that?
We did it. The dreadnought's disabled. That ship is still crawling with Herc, though. Make sure your away teams are ready for a fight.
Understood.
I'll send some of my best. Dukan Rex will lead a Jem'Hadar away team, while Loris will assist Dr. Bashir.
Very well.
Let's get the away teams on that dreadnought before it calls for backup.
Loris and I have all we need. We're ready to beam over when you are.
Well, beam over. Thank God I remembered to put my armour back on instead of going in with those spacesuits. Now, these Lex throwing knives don't
we'll
work.
Need to find their central computer core. Once we're there, I'll begin the override.
I'll switch to a proper weapon.
To transmit our data on the cure.
When that's done, we can instruct each ship in their fleet to replicate the cure and distribute it to every Herc on board. Of course, we need to reach the command center in one piece to do so.
Well, clear the way. We'll clear the way. And right behind every door is a
Enemy life
Herc.
signs ahead. Get ready to fight.
Where's the big one? He's usually just around here.
Proceed with caution. I'm reading numerous hazards in the area. This section of the ship has taken heavy damage.
Look, you don't interrupt me when I'm about to pounce on an enemy. That's just bad friggin' soldiering. Looks like my crew have got things well in hand, though. I do not like the way you're frozen in place when you're using the knives. They should remove that from the game. It makes the knives... They would be good weapons if it weren't for that. I don't think that was in the game when I first played these episodes. I think when I first played these you could run around and still throw the knives. But now you can't. And it's wrong. The knives are no longer fun. Not if you're rooted in position when you're trying to use them. See, disabled. What am I supposed to do? Right, are my team alive? Good. Wait for them to heal up a bit. Can't see. Flanking damage, got to get out of the way of that. Well, there was nothing I could do there. I was rooted in place by the knives. I'm going to switch them out because they've become crap. They were good when they first... Well, actually, I'll continue for a little bit. They nerfed the knives right after releasing them. And that's really disappointing and makes you lose faith. I don't like smoke bombs, but it's all I've got for that character. Maybe I'm just using them wrong. Okay, it looks good. Yeah, I hate it now. Being rooted. Well, we got the big guy.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Alright, did we get all the loot? I tend to go for the big guys first because they spawn smaller guys. Although they don't have an infinite stream of spawns, which is good. Another thing I've noticed is when you're not throwing the knives, when you've just finished...
Pleasant news, I'm afraid.
Hang on a minute.
Work security systems have sent an automated distress signal throughout the fleet. I recommend haste. We're going to have a great number of hostile guests, and far sooner than we'd like.
Yes, I've noticed that when you're throwing the knives, the moment you stop, you still have to wait a second before you can move. You can't move straight after throwing the last one. So you can't change position in combat. Once you engage, you have to stick it through till the creature dies or you die. And that's the bad thing about not being able to move. Forces you to stay put and remain in combat and die. Yeah, I think I've had enough of these knives. Now that they've been nerfed, they're useless. They were good, but they've obviously been super nerfed. So to hell with them. I'm putting on a better weapon. Just got to wait till I'm out of combat. Where was my better weapon? There it is. That's the one I was using all along. Much better. How many hit points has this guy got? Come on, die! Bashir seems to be invincible. Anyone alive who can help? Yep, Jem'Hadar. Oh, don't go for her, go for me. That's it. Look at Loris, cowering. Finally! Now wake up my crew, please. Come on, somebody, wake her up. Come on, bend down. Come on, Jem'Hadars. No? Does it have to be me? Miss Guardians of the Galaxy? Okay, Bashir. How you doing, Mush?
Excellent work. It's time for Loris and I to finish this.
You mean you haven't
Keep
done it
your
already?
weapons handy, however. We're breaking into a secure computer system here. The Herc are bound to take offense. Keep them busy while we do our work, or this will be a wasted trip.
But you're the invincible one. Let me do the work and you keep them busy. Stay still so I can target you.
This one goes here, that one goes there!
Yeah, bitch!
I was saving time by inverting the feed now instead of later.
I thought you were supposed to be Starfleet.
Vaporized! I like it when you get to vaporize.
I wouldn't even be in Starfleet anymore if it weren't for this Herc nonsense.
Don't know what happened there.
Doctor.
I'm surviving much better now that I've gotten over that little knives glitch. Although this gun does have a glitch. Sometimes its secondary fire doesn't finish. I mean, it still hits, the animation doesn't finish. My whole crew's down. Wow, I need a hypo. I need another hypo. Don't go into this match without hypos. Is that it? Wow, I survived the main onslaught at least, even if I died every other time. I survived holding off the Herc. Now it's time to wake up my overpaid crew since they can't keep themselves alive. I'm going to have to cut their pay until they get some more training. Yeah, those Lex knives, I've used them on another character. And I got through all of this episode with no sweat, and that character wasn't as powerful as this one. But now, since you can't move when using them, you're stuck. And I'm sorry, I can't answer the phone right now. I can't answer right now, I'm busy. Sorry, but you'll have to call back another time.
Almost ready here. The system needs the physical samples of the cure for final analysis and processing. Shall I proceed?
Make it happen, Doctor.
Are you insane, Weyoun? That was our last hope.
How is this possible? You were in prison!
I was liberated by those who still serve the true founders. Not everyone is a traitor to the Dominion, after all.
There is only one traitor here, Weyoun. It's time you paid the price for your treachery.
Pathetic. You can't even kill someone properly. Allow me to instruct you. You! Jem'Hadar! Make yourself useful. Kill them. Giving you an order. Open fire. Kill them now.
I think not.
He's gone.
And not a moment too soon.
Bashir to command. Everyone, we have a problem.
That phone call really threw me off. I didn't answer it, switched my phone off, but it really threw me off. I wanted to watch that cutscene, but I couldn't concentrate on it. Oh well, let's beam out. I'll have to re-watch this video myself afterwards. I tell you, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong in
fleet is
recording
about
these
to attack our
videos.
position. We need to give the doctor the time he needs to transmit data on the cure.
Acknowledged. Red alert! Weapons up, shields up. Shoot the big ship. Hang on a minute, was that a bit of lag jump there? Something's pushing me. Like a pushback area of effect or something. A pushback weapon. That was aggressive.
Well, you're in quite a fix there, Odo.
Quark!
Brilliant observation, Quark. What do you want?
Forgive my brother, Odo. We're here to help.
The Ferengi? Cavalry? I thought I'd seen everything.
I bet that's gonna cost.
The best is yet to come, Odo. Say hello to my dangerous friends.
Dangerous friends?
Well, Quark, we're waiting.
Where are they?
Lose something? Like your nerve, perhaps?
Klingons! Grilka
Long ago,
has got
the
Martug.
the Unforgettable lit the beacon of Kahless to restore glory to the Empire. Today, a new torchbearer, Worf, son of Moog, does the same. United, we now go to fight the enemy of our ancestors. Today, we will fight the Herc. I now hold the weapon they fear most. The Sword of Kahless has been returned to us. Join me now.
Yeah.
In honorable combat. Show the Herc what it truly means to be Klingon. For Kahless, for the Empire, Kapla!
So, Martug carries the Sword of Kahless. Nice. I think the effects on my settings, the glare effects on things like shields and weapons are a bit too high in my graphic settings. Things get glared out quite a lot. Did we survive that? Wow. Yeah, we survived it, but no loot. Answer hail.
The arrival of the Klingons has given us more time in space, but the situation on the surface is dire. Herc's forces are breaking the Jem'Hadar defense lines. We need to do what we can to help. I'm beaming directly to the Great Link to aid my people.
Agreed.
The time has come. The Herc mean to ravage everything in their path. We will not allow it. We will stand against them as Kahless once stood, defiant and proud. Fight well, and if need be, die well.
Now that he's got the sword of Kahless, he's come down with a case of what is it? Channeling Churchill. Come down with a hard case of Winston Churchill. Get within range of the planet. Beam down. Come on, load. It's a lot to load though, isn't it?
Whom do we seek? Kahless! How do we find him? Together!
By dying.
Kahless, give us light to see forever! Will he hide from us always? Never!
Yep. More heroic speeches.
It's worse than we thought. Most of the Jem'Hadar lines have been broken. Even the Great Link is in danger. I'm going to coordinate our defenses at the link. Meet me there.
Oh yeah, you want me to fight my way through the enemy to get to you, killing the enemy in the process, doing all your work for you.
We'll meet you there as soon as we can. And Odo, be careful.
Let's go!
The Jem'Hadar
Alright, not
have
yet.
come to our aid. Now, we will return the favor.
They won't appreciate it, Martog. Okay, nothing else to do here. Head towards the Great Link. Run past the Jem'Hadar. Let my crew do all the dying. Optional, speak to Jem'Hadar soldier.
Well, good. There are many Herc between us and the Great Lake. We go there now to reclaim our lives, for we are already dead.
Well, that's a defeatist attitude. You gotta fight for survival.
Die as I lived. This is how it is.
That's that kit module from Doom to Repeat.
We won't last long out in the open like this.
And get some cover.
Odo to Kira. We're fortifying our position near the Great Link.
Understood. We're on our way.
I'm hitting him for a certain amount of damage, but he's not reducing in health much. He must have super duper hit points. Shield battery. So I've got a dead crew member somewhere. That's alright, he's getting resurrected. And it's the Jem'Hadar that went down. Haha. Not as good as your fellow soldiers, are you, you traitor? You're lucky I took you in. Alright, you slimy Vorta, where's the Ketracel White stashed?
I must confess my surprise at seeing you here, on this, the homeworld of the gods. Truly, we are living in strange times. You'll forgive my boldness, but there are still founders under attack nearby. Can I count on you to aid them, and destroy the wretched creatures who would do them harm?
Well, we'll judge it by founder basis, whether we want to save them or not. Let's run around this rock, just to see if I've missed any loot. Can't go without me loot. Doesn't look like it. Look at all these dead changeling ashes. They've all dried up. They died and dried up. You're no god if you couldn't fight them off by yourself.
I think we're too late. This changeling's losing morphogenic matrix stability. There are
You mean
more
it's wetting its
Quadrants
pants?
nearby. We should do.
Hey, don't interrupt Kira with your stupid battles. I'll teach you for getting that close. Which way shall we go? Down here first. Hey, you're supposed to target that one first, auto fire. It's the obvious one. What are you, a tank? Come on, get an angle on him. You alright, Liquid? Oops, wrong button.
I don't know you, Solid, but I thank you for your service.
Well, it was rather slick of me, Liquid. Right, go back around. Why isn't it firing? Why can't I get a lock on him? Do the ground ones have something that make them immune as well? How you doing, Slick?
Is this some sort of solid invasion?
No, it's a solid takeover. A solid, good, hard takeover. And this is the final shapeshifter.
Your timing is fortuitous. Solid.
Nice to be appreciated, but my name is Admiral. Oh no! I need help! Come save me! Not likely.
Good. We're going to need all the help we can get here. It looks like the Herc are focusing their attacks on the link. I've called for reinforcements, but most of our lines have been overrun. We're going to make a stand here and hope the Doctor's plan is successful. If not, if we fail, this may be the day the Dominion dies.
Well, no great loss there. There's the Great Link. Shall we skim a stone across it?
Please tell me you have more Jem'Hadar coming to help.
The call's been sent, but they may not arrive in time.
We'll do what we can with what we have, then.
As always, until the end.
Yeah, that's too much glare on
I'm not sure
these
I like the way you said that, Odo.
energy effects.
Nerys, if we don't make it...
No, now is not the time for this discussion.
Look around. There may not be a better time.
You're right. And I understand what you did.
You do?
How come they're not out of breath? They're supposed to be fighting a battle.
For everything.
Yes.
Well, Odo wouldn't be out of breath, but Kira would. Even, especially since she's getting older.
I know. I feel the same.
Push, push, push forward. Pull back, pull back. Did we do it? Have we succeeded? Hey! That's my bridge officer! It's the valiant last stand!
Nerys, are you hurt?
It's just a scratch. I'm fine. We're losing ground here, Odo. Keep fighting.
We can't hold this position much longer.
That's Jem'Hadar, for we're about to die, Doctor. Are you ready?
Not without the Ketracel components needed for the cure.
Come on, Doctor.
Ketracel. Yes.
Rip your tubes off.
Victory.
Wait! Stop!
Is life.
Yep, it runs through his veins, all that Ketracel. Will he become an Uber Jem'Hadar with Herc properties? I don't think so. Hang on, I wasn't going to die. Look at his face. He looked like Quark just then. Ah, they beamed down from the Herc ship. Wow. The Herc have mellowed. Now that's a screenshot. Thank you. Is that it? Well, you'll get a bill.
Seems the battle is over, but how? What happened up there, Doctor?
I believe Dukan Rex realized that his own body contained the Ketracel material I needed to finalize the cure. He extracted what we needed at the cost of his life. Once the Herc were able to synthesize the cure, they came to their senses and called for an immediate ceasefire. Their forces are withdrawing as we speak. It's over, Odo. I won't say we've won. It's over.
So, victory wasn't life for him. Admiral, we've received orders from Alliance Command. We're to report to Deep Space Nine as soon as possible for debriefing. Are you ready to return to the Alpha Quadrant? Debriefing? But I want to keep my briefs on. I think we survived all of that ground portion. We didn't die once in that last ground bit. All the way down to the Lincoln, the blockade. So, speak with Bashir. How's this Jem'Hadar doing? Do we need to grow another one?
There was nothing I could do for him on the Herc Dreadnought. The Ketracel extraction process was too devastating. Odo, you treated him like a son when we first found him on DS9, and I'm truly sorry.
Ah well, plenty more where he come from. They're cheap and quick to breed.
He didn't even have a name when he left us. I'll make sure the name he found is never forgotten.
First.
I remember his first days on the station. All he wanted to do was fight. Didn't matter who. When he left, I thought I'd never see him again. Or if I did, it'd be as enemies. The man I met years later still knew how to fight, but his reasons for doing so had changed dramatically. I'm proud to have known him. I wish I could have done more in the end.
You made a difference in his life. Yes, he wouldn't have been a pariah without you, Odo.
I suppose you're right. I believe Captain Kira was looking for you. She was at the Temple of the Prophets last I checked. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to pay my respects. We'll talk more later.
Very well, I'm sorry for your loss. No, I'm not. Go to the Temple of the Prophets. Is this the Temple of the Bookkeepers? Where are my prophets? I have bills to pay.
Hello again, my friend.
Friend?
It pleases me to see you.
We're not friends.
Interesting news.
I hope it doesn't involve the Herc.
Thankfully, no. Rather, it involves the Orb of Peace that you returned with Kaiopaka. It has spoken to me. I've been exploring the meaning of that experience with the Kai and Captain Kira. They are, after all, experts on such matters. While we all find it curious that an Orb of the Prophets would speak to a Vorta, we also agree it would be foolish to ignore it.
Why would they even let you have access to an orb? What of your service to the Dominion? That's all changed.
With the blessings of Founder Odo, I have been transferred to this quadrant to continue my studies of the Orb and the Prophets. I shall also serve as Founder Odo's representative here. Diplomacy is my specialty, after all. I'm sure we'll be seeing one another again. May the blessings of the Founders and the Prophets be yours.
Glad to hear it. See you around then. Kaiopaka. Are you going to grab my ear, Kai?
It is good to see you once more. I was hoping we'd have a moment to speak on an important matter before your duties take you back to the stars.
As long as you don't grab my ear and try and sense my paw.
My thoughts often return to the Orb of Peace. It was no coincidence that it was found in the Gamma Quadrant, in the midst of two warring tribes. I believe it to be a message from the Prophets, one of guidance in troubled times.
I trust your expertise on such matters.
Now that the conflict with the Herc has ended, I feel it's time to explore this omen more thoroughly. The recent vision experienced by Loris is truly remarkable. That the prophets would speak to a Vorta. Again, this is no coincidence. Simply put, I believe the orb is meant to broker a lasting peace between the people of our quadrants and the Dominion.
Just you and the Dominion? I thought orbs had larger purposes than just two species. I hope you're right, Pope. Alright, Captain Kira, how are you doing?
And here we are, once again. It's been quite a journey.
Indeed. What's next for you, Captain?
Funny you should mention that. After we got back, Starfleet Command offered me a number of postings. Even the center chair on one of those shiny new cruisers. Tempting. But I chose to join the command staff here on DS9. Bajor and the Celestial Temple mean a lot to me, and this station is a good place to keep them both safe.
True, it also close to our mutual friend in the Gamma Quadrant. Close to Odo. And it might pave the way for Sisko's return, but why didn't you take a big cruiser? You could have gone off exploring, never to return.
Subtle, but you're not wrong. Odo and I have a lot to work out before we're back to where we were, but we've taken a few good steps in that direction. I think it'll work out. Eventually. He's a hard man to read sometimes.
He's not a man, he's a piece of liquid.
Thank you for coming to visit. After all we've been through, it means a lot to have friends. Even if it reminds me of the ones we miss. Speaking of reunions, I think General Martok is leading the charge against the Bloodwine at Quark's. I'm sure he'd want to congratulate you on another glorious victory. May the prophets watch over you.
And you, Captain. Now let's go to Quark's and kick the shit out of the Bloodwine. Talk to Nagus, Wrong, and Leader. Let's go Leader first.
Oh, I'm so glad to see this come to an end. But not as glad as everyone back on Ferenginar. It's a celebration of Rule 35 like no one's ever seen before. I mean, peace may be good for business, but things are really getting out of hand.
How so?
When word got out that the Gamma Quadrant was open for business, the new Latinum rush was on. Open borders and free trade policies. My husband was practically weeping with joy. Oh, poor Odo. He thought he had his hands full with Quark on DS9. Now, he's gonna have an entire quadrant full of Ferengi to deal with.
Yeah. And he deserves it. Now let's talk to the Grand Nagus of the Ferengi Alliance.
We'll be here at DS9 until my ship is repaired. Fortunately, I have exclusive rights to the holosim of the battle. The sales of that alone will cover the cost of repairs, and then some. Some days it's good to be the Grand Nagus.
I can only imagine.
I don't like to think about how close to disaster we were, though. Fortunately, there were people like you out there to bring us all back from the brink. All those adventures. You've got quite a story to tell. That reminds me. Have you ever considered making a holo biography? I think your life story would be quite popular and profitable. I'll make you a very generous offer for the rights and cut you in on a share of the profits, say 25%.
Excuse me, but if I ever tell my life story, I'll be taking 100%. Interesting offer, but I must decline.
Suit yourself. The offer
no
still
rip-offs
stands if you
today.
change your mind.
Thank you, Grand Nagus. Talk to Quark. Hey, Quark, I hope the drinks are free.
Welcome back. Seeing as this is a private party and I'm in an unusually generous mood, you'll be getting the VIP discount on your drinks tonight.
You mean free? You mean they're not on the house?
Did you take a hit to the head in that fight? I'm in a good mood. Not insane. Half off. Take it or leave it.
Fair enough. Cheers!
That's more like it. Don't take it personally. You could be Odo. His drinks, 50% markup.
About the Sword of Kalis.
Not much to tell, really. Lex saw the error of his ways and gave it back. Then I had Grilka let Martok and Worf know we'd recovered their precious relic. A quick handoff later, and the Klingons were off to war. Rom and I tagged along, mainly to see the look on Odo's face when I rode in with the cavalry. That was priceless. If I die tomorrow, I'll go to the Exchequer with a smile on my face.
Makes you think you're going to the Exchequer. You might be going to the Vault of Eternal Destitution. I'm sure, and I don't. And you didn't make a profit on the job?
Who do you think you're talking to?
Of course he did.
Nog? Unlike the Federation, the Klingons know of the value of Latinum. I'm thinking of spending my cut on a smaller moon to orbit the one I already have. I might even name it Odo.
You could name it the Death Star. You're living dangerously, Quark. Good luck.
Can I get you something?
I'm fine for now. Morn, just thought I'd check in on you. No, I can't. There's no prompt to check in on Morn. Oh well. Let's talk to Nefpar.
I am forever indebted to you. Without your efforts, I would walk the path of exile for the rest of my days. Now, I will help make amends for all that has happened during Zencast's terrible crusade.
If only we could provide you with a fish tank to relax in. I hear Moore's got a nice big mud tub. Make the most of this opportunity, Captain. Talk to Nog.
We need to stop running into each other when the fate of the galaxy is on the line. I'd be fine with drinks here at Uncle's bar, or some baseball on the holodeck. That said, I can't think of too many people I trust when everything's on the line. Glad you are here for this.
I see you're hanging out with Martok. He must be slumming it these days to be hanging out with a little troll like Ferengi.
Starfleet's assigned the Chimera to peacekeeping duty in Herc space. We'll be working with the Joint Task Force to help the Herc get back on their feet again as well. There's a lot to be done, but we want to help them rejoin the galactic community.
Well, now that their insanity is cured, what the hell? It might as well do the nutty thing.
It is, but my crew is up for the challenge. They're some of Starfleet's best. Take care of yourself out there. Don't be a stranger.
Why would the best be working for Nog? Same to you, Captain. Now let's talk to Martok.
A hard-fought battle and a well-earned victory.
He sounds drunk already.
We almost missed it. Our fleet would have never left the Empire if it weren't for the sword's return. Grilka tells me her former mate, Quark, had something to do with that. The sacred blade of Kalis, returned to the Empire by a Ferengi. Madness!
Her current mate played a part as well. And yeah, I can see why you're getting drunk, Martok. Not just because of victory, but because of the madness, and you might as well just drink yourself to a grave.
Yes, it was Worf's idea to ignite the beacon of Kalis. A bold move, but it paid off. Only a coward could refuse such a call to arms.
Ah, so Grilka's current mate is now Worf. Well, he was attracted to her. What happened to his redacts? Indeed.
The legend of Kalis is stronger than ever. It would not surprise me if the High Council moved to create a new clone of the Emperor. There is great power in legend, after all.
You'd think there'd be all the Klingons from his crew in here so he could drink with them, instead of drinking with this sorry bunch. True. Until next time, General.
Interesting. There's a message from Garrick on my monitor here. Text only. He wants you to meet him at his old tailor shop. Maybe he's had enough of politics and wants to get back in the fashion game. Probably more profitable in the long run, and easier on the nerves.
Well, maybe he's got a new dress for my character. That seems unlikely.
I wouldn't keep him waiting if I were you. He looks for secrets when he gets bored, and trust me, he's not the person you want poking around in your business.
Sounds like I should see what he wants. So, Garrick's shop is next to sick bay. Down in here. How you doing, Garrick? You sleazy boy.
Thank you for meeting me here. Strangely, I find it easy to center myself in this shop, even relax.
Memories of a simpler time in your life. Plain, simple Taylor Garrick.
Quite so. Cardassia is about to begin a new journey, as it were, and I'll be going along for the ride.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, it is. Cardassia has been offered membership in the Alliance, and we've accepted. Our seat at the table was hard-earned, but we're ready and grateful to join the ongoing efforts. Officer exchange programs have already begun. In fact, I suspect you'll be seeing more Cardassian faces in the future. I hope you show them the same courtesy as you've shown me in our shared adventures.
As long as the Cardassians don't start going back to their old ways, you'll be fine.
Oh, I'll be spending time on Earth, Kronos, and New Romulus. The life of an ambassador is never dull, after all. Someone needs to make sure the Alliance doesn't forget about Cardassia, and I suppose that someone is me. I'll be sure to follow your exploits, of course. They'll be far more entertaining than economic forecasts and state functions, to be sure.
Yes, and don't forget to start negotiations with the Tau Shiar. That's the kind of guy you are, aren't you? And now, Captain Kamaki.
The conflict may be over, but there's still plenty of work to be done. The Lucari have offered to help the Herc restore their homeworld's ecosystem, and they've accepted. Dr. Bashir will be working with us on this. It's our goal to ensure that no Herc will go without nourishment again.
An honourable goal.
Some time ago, I hoped for a path to peaceful resolution to our troubles with the Herc. I'm happy to be part of such a solution, at last. Thank you for your efforts in getting us all to this point, to peace.
You're welcome. Safe travels, Captain.
I believe our fearless leaders would like to have a word with you next.
I hope they've got a medal. It's about bloody time. Alright, first we'll... So, Datan, any more news about how you were with Spock once?
I have initiated a dialogue between the Dominion and the Karema. In light of recent events, I feel it is imperative that their conflict is resolved peacefully. Whether that results in an independent Karema or not remains to be seen, but I shall endeavor to help them reach a result that is beneficial for both parties.
That's going to be a challenge, Pro-Council. Why are these NPCs pushing me around? Talk to the fool Jumphawk.
The Havas Cool sector has been designated as independent from the Dominion, and a Herc neutral zone has been established around it. The Empire will join the Federation and the Republic in keeping the peace between the Dominion and the Herc. We have experience in enforcing a neutral zone, after all.
Indeed. I sound like a freaking newsreader. Indeed.
Martok's use of the beacon and the return of the blade has led to a renewed interest in Kahless throughout the Empire. Some say that Martok stands with honor next to great heroes like Tukuvma, Vok, L'Rell, and Kang. As if getting along with a stubborn old Targ wasn't difficult enough. His ego will be larger than Mount Hamar at this rate. It is fortunate that Martok has little in the way of political aspirations. Otherwise, I may need to kill him. Again.
Both of you make the Empire stronger, Chancellor. Now for my boss, Admiral Quinn.
There have been some significant diplomatic events since your return from the Gamma Quadrant. First, the Dominion is joining the Alliance. Having them as allies will take some getting used to, but the opportunity was too great to ignore.
Agreed.
As a condition to joining the Alliance, we requested that the Founders take steps to free the Jem'Hadar from their addiction to Ketracel White. I'm happy to say that Ambassador Odo is inclined to comply with that request. It will make things interesting in the Gamma Quadrant, to be sure. Still, it's been a long time coming. The Jem'Hadar should be able to live their lives freely.
It's a risk, but worth taking. Admiral, the Ambassador and Dr. Bashir would like a word with you in sickbay when you have a moment. Understood. Admiral Quinn. His name is Quinn. Could he be a Q? The suicidal Q? Posing as a Starfleet Admiral all these years? And they're not in sickbay like they said they were. So let's talk to Bashir.
Things are finally settling down around here. Well, as much as it ever settles down, that is.
You're still in uniform, Doctor.
Well, there's a lot to be done with the Herc, and being part of Starfleet will help me make things happen in that regard. When I'm not here, I'll be working with the Lucari and the crew of the USS Aventine to help the Herc get back on their feet.
Havas Cole's a long way from home for you.
Indeed, but I happen to be married to the captain of the Aventine, so it won't be, too bad. The kids won't be joining us until Kumake and her team restore Havas Kul to a more habitable state, however. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. But until then, be safe out there. Doctor's orders.
Married to the captain of the Aventine. Did I hear that right? It's not Kamaki's married to, is it? Nah, it can't be. Could it be Isri Dax? I must have misheard it. And now finally, you, the one who's caused all this trouble, Odo.
The Dominion is about to go through a number of changes, liberating the Jem'Hadar from the White, phasing out the Founders' benevolent dictatorship, establishing a safe haven for the Herc. Needless to say, I'm going to be very busy for quite some time.
Not all of those changes will be popular.
No. There are still a number of Founders within the Great Link who will be very resistant to change. I'd like to think they're outnumbered by those willing to take a more democratic approach, however. The last thing anyone needs is a Dominion civil war.
Oh, yeah, I think that would be cool.
Also, not all of the Herc were cured. We'll be dealing with rogue swarms for some time. I hope we can call on you in the future if we run into that special kind of trouble you have a talent for dealing with. Oh, and speaking of trouble, you might keep an eye on Quark. That little act of heroism with the Sword of Kahless will make him bolder than ever.
I'll do what I can, Constable. Accolade complete! Gamma Quadrant, we've finished! The ship has been cleared for departure, Admiral. We're ready to leave when you are. Would you like to return and leave this system? Yes, I would. Bye-bye, Admiral. Bye-bye, Odo. Bye-bye, Bashir. Bye-bye, all those Gamma Quadrant Deep Space Nine people. We're finally done. And making these videos, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. But it still worked out in the end. So, let's hail and find out what Odo has to say for his last closing statement.
The future of the Dominion is uncertain for the first time in many years. Without the Founder and her unbreakable will at the center of it all, the Gamma Quadrant will undoubtedly go through a great deal of turmoil. I'll do what I can to maintain order and keep the peace, but it's going to be challenging, to say the least. For now, what matters to me is that you fought for the Dominion when we needed it the most. I won't forget that. And thanks to the Great Link, neither will the Founders. Thank you. I hope we meet again under much better circumstances.
Yes, and if we don't, I'll arrest you. So, we get our reward, a console. And there it is. The Morphogenic Matrix Controller. It gives you plus 15% weapon damage versus foes in rear 90-degree arc. So that will help out your turrets. Plus 20% polaron damage. Well, it should really be 25% like other consoles for particular energy types. Plus 30 Starship Drain expertise. That's useful. And minus 10% power cost. More details. There is no more details really. Not until you put it on a ship, which I'm not going to just yet. But at least we got a specialization point, which I'll be putting into pilot on this character. There we go. Hang on a minute. I unboxed it. I didn't use it. There it is.
Congratulations, Admiral.
Thank you, Mr. Spock. That gets pilot closer. Well, that was part 7, the episode called Home, which wrapped up the Gamma Quadrant. I hope you enjoyed these playthroughs, and I'm going to make a playlist out of them on YouTube, so thanks for watching. I found these to be thoroughly enjoyable episodes every step of the way. And finding out what happened to the Deep Space Nine characters after Deep Space Nine ended was brilliant. And it's all canon now as well. So, wonderful. This is Alt Lexington, signing off from the Gamma Quadrant. Thanks for watching. Keep on trekking. Bye.